As a programming note, I just want to say probably for the next month or so, I'm going to be shooting probably less videos and more shorts. So if you check out the shorts, I'd appreciate that. Some of the shorts might not be reselling related. It's not going to be a many, but most of them will be reselling related, but a couple might not be. But I just want to let you know I'm still going to be dedicated to about every 10 days a video coming out. With that, hello, welcome back. My name's Chris, and I'm the Railroads Reseller. Today we're going to talk about retailers making mistakes with customers and how really you need to not make those same mistakes because we represent the future of selling. We represent the future of what's coming out, okay? And that's why I always tell you to always do really good customer service and that type of thing. But what I want to talk about today is Target and how Target made bad choices. And you need to also not make those same bad choices for your business, okay? Because you got to see yourself as a business, okay? I don't care if your family don't take you seriously. I don't care if your partner don't take you seriously. You still need to take your business as being serious, okay, folks? That's what's most important, okay? First of all, like I said, I want to talk about Target, okay, and some of the mistakes they've made. First of all, they started around 2015. I don't have an exact date. They decided they was going to come forward with their bathroom policy, okay? Now, they could have just had a bathroom policy and not made such a big deal about it, okay? But instead of just kind of put it out there and let the chips fall where they had to announce it. They had to, and what they did with their bathroom policy, no matter what your feelings towards or against it, you alienated a part of your customer base that was coming in, a part of your customer base that was shopping with you. Prior to all this mess, I always just looked at Target as a higher quality Walmart. That's why I looked at it. Right there underneath, say, a Belk or J.C. Penney's or something like that, but better than Walmart. Better quality, better set up store. You kind of look at it like this, in my opinion. You look at, let's say, your Dollar General's first thing, your Walmart's kind of next step, and then I looked at Target as the next step. So it just depends on what you needed. If you need something a little bit quality, a little bit better, you went to Target and shopped instead of Walmart, okay? But then by doing what they did, they alienated part of their customer base. And let me tell you something, if you alienate part of your customer base, most likely they're not coming back, okay? When I sell something, I don't really check and see who my customer is and all that. I just ship it out to them and go from there. I don't, when you enter my store, I don't say nothing crazy or wild. When I send you something, it just has a thank you and links back to my store. I don't put anything that's, political on it or anything like that. Or sometimes I do just through regular thank you stickers. And that's what I would advise you is don't get political. Don't get yourself caught up in the politics of what's going on. Things could change. You don't know when somebody that you have a lot of faith in is really going to come out and say something else, and you're like, oh no, now I've kind of went double down on this, and it's not working out like I thought. And so please, if I can tell you one thing, don't go down the path that Target's gone, okay? Now, they thought they would reposition themselves this past year. Okay, now, well, things are changing. The air, they thought they were the right people in the room. And they thought this year we'll make a difference. That difference is we'll do away with DEI, and we'll hire different people, and it'll be differently done, and we'll bounce back, and we'll say it, and hey, well, how about it is, they alienated what customers they did have coming through the door. And they paid for it, and their employees have paid for it. They've announced now a couple thousand layoffs here at Christmas. In the retail sector, there's one thing. I've worked retail. I've worked brick and mortar retail multiple times, and I can tell you people that you don't want to alienate your customers, and you're not going to be laying off at the holidays, okay? Because people are buying now. There's more people than ever. I know that they do more self-checkout stuff like that, which is absolutely a wrong thing too. People, if they're coming into brick and mortar, you know what they want? They want that person-to-person experience, okay? They walk into a brick and mortar, they want that person-to-person, okay? They want somebody to help them find something. They want somebody to check them out. If they wanted to check themselves out, they do it on Amazon. They do it on eBay. They do it on the online, okay? They put their clothes on. They went and took a shower. They took a bath. They want a experience. I'll show you some recent solds, and then we'll come back and finalize this video out. All right, let's go over some things that have sold. I sold 2 different books on the same different instrument. It's a Debro instrument. Looks kind of like a guitar that you do different with. Don't know. Anytime I see these strange instrument books, I pick them up. Sold them for $16 plus shipping on that. I pay like 50 cents or $1 or something in the state sale. It wasn't much. I say if I see a strange instrument, usually stay away from like your banjos, your guitars. But otherwise, those little strange instrument books sell pretty well. Sold this wrestling magazine. This is from the lot from about 2 years ago. What I did when I did all that, I just bagged them and boarded them, listed them, and they're in a stack and they take up very little room. So, hey, when everyone sells, they sell $9 plus shipping. I don't have many of them left, but hey, Patsy Cline here. This was a freebie at an estate sale, $11 plus shipping. These were all in amazing shape. I really should have probably grabbed the whole stack and just sorted from there, but I feel sometimes like that's just being greedy, taking everything when something's free. But hey, I'm sure there's plenty of other resellers that done that, so why not me? Sold these Lucky Brand cargo shorts, size 33. Got these for $1 down in Tennessee when I was at the Tennessee meetup. $11 plus shipping on Lucky Brand shorts. Sold this York Tree shirt here. Just a Kohl's brand. It is new with tags. Got $11 plus shipping. I picked that up at a place where I pick up a lot of clothing for about $1. Best sale of the weekend. Sold Hickey Freeman here. This was also picked up down there. This is a silk and wool jacket. This is very nice. Hickey Freeman is one of the best brands out there. I tell you, they make quality items. They make nice stuff. This jacket probably originally cost $300 to $400 brand new. Hickey Freeman doesn't reduce their items a lot. They didn't sell out a long time ago. They kept good prices. Anyway, $70 plus shipping on this jacket. Somebody is getting a real nice jacket. Sold this Eddie Bauer shirt here. Nothing special. It's called a Foreman shirt here. $9 plus shipping. This was a $1 day pickup. 2 more. Sold this pair of jeans here. They're called Brand Duke jeans. Nothing great. This was also a $1 pickup. On Dollar Day Sundays, I generally pick up anything, any jeans is new with tags. I don't really look it up, that type of thing. These are $12 plus shipping. I kind of figure any new with tags jeans is worth $1. And like I said, I've used the whole, if I can get about $10 plus shipping, give or take, I usually pick up an item. And finally here, I've got one more shirt if I can get to it without making a big mess. Anyway, I don't know, Bergman, New York. It's a 18.5, 36, 37. This is about mounts out to a 2XLT. So $9 plus shipping. That was also a $1 day pickup. So one thing I've always said is you can't cut your way to the top. You can't cut your way to success. And with Target here, they're cutting people at the worst time, okay? And let me tell you something, cutting people at Christmas, letting it know that people are going to lose their jobs at Christmas is not good PR, my folks. Everybody expects, of course, retail to have layoffs and cutting of hours after the first of the year. I worked at Walmart many years ago, and that's what we did. I was full time, and I'd work about 35, 40 hours a week. I was cut to 12 hours. That's completely accepted in the retail business. Okay, and they could have quietly done that. Okay, I guess they were trying to meet stockholders' expectations or some kind of jargon, okay? But I'm gonna tell you something again. It's bad on public perception, and that's what you also have to do. Your public perception, because people will talk about you, okay? Especially, don't buy from this, don't buy from that. And the thing about it is, you represent eBay, okay? If you don't send this item correctly, you make eBay look bad, okay? When, like, I seen recently a popular YouTube reseller bought a bunch of AirPods and he was going to resell them, okay? And I pointed out he's had multiple returns on those AirPods before. And he act like he got them through this way and another. And here's the thing, folks. He's just buying off Amazon, okay? What Amazon does is Amazon returns and this, that, and the other. And you can buy those returns. And he's just hoping that not enough people return it, that he makes a good profit. It's lazy sourcing. It's lazy work. Okay. And you can do it. If you want to get involved, you could do the same thing that he's doing. Okay. But not only does it reflect bad on you as a person. Okay. You're making eBay look bad. Okay. You're a representative of eBay. And once enough people get bad results on eBay, it can reflect on you. Okay. They say, I think, if you tell somebody something positive, it affects 6 people. If you tell somebody negative, it affects 12 people. That means that, people listen more to negative, unfortunately. If I was just coming here with a negative video, just pound, 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 negative, 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 my views would be up. My subscribers would be up. If every week all I did was talk negative, 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 just hey, eBay is crashing your system, and eBay is doing this, and eBay is doing this, negative, negative, I could get a lot more views. But I don't do that. I come here to tell you the truth. I try to tell you in as positive way as possible. And what I'm telling you today is be a good representative. Don't get caught up in politics. And don't really, I stay away from stuff in your store that even lends to the way that you would support one way or the other. People are very touchy on politics, okay? Just sell the stuff that sells. If this sells by listing it, just list it, okay? Don't get caught up in stuff. I have never in all my eBay experience ever got listed an item that I got a message from somebody and said, man, I don't really appreciate you doing that. I've never got a comment. I always show you solds. I've never got a comment of something, man, you really shouldn't have sold that, okay? I've gotten questions about you sell a lot of low-end items or this, that, and the other, and that's fine. If you don't want to sell low-end items, by all means, don't sell low-end items, okay? Honestly, I'm trying to sell as many widgets as I can sell. I'm not trying to sell the highest price widgets. I'm just trying to sell as many widgets as I can sell, okay? As many widgets as I can pack up, as many widgets as I can ship, that type of thing. That's my goal, okay? Make profit on each one. And I'm trying to do easier, lighter stuff that, the basic average person can buy and afford and stuff. That's what I do, okay? I try to show you stuff. People like, I did a short while back and somebody said something about, well, that's only $50 or something like that, And yeah, what I try to do is show you stuff that you've got around the house. This may be sitting up in the cabinet, and you go, wonder if that's worth anything. And you watch the video, and sure enough, it was. That's what I'm here for. I'm just trying to get you started in a side hustle to make you some money. Okay, that's all my goal is here. That's all the goal of the stuff I sell. Now, if I find a $500 item, yes, I'm posting it up. Okay, but there's just not a ton of $500 items around me, unless I want to really put out some major money. Okay, and I just don't feel like putting out $300 or $400 is good when you get $500. Okay, you may feel like it's fine. That's okay. Your model can be different than my model. That's completely acceptable, okay? I just don't want you making bad sidesteps, bad mistakes, letting politics run your business, okay? Keep it in line, keep it in stuff that people buy, that people want, get stuff that people want. If you get aggravated, walk away from it. If a customer's aggravating you, just walk away from it. Don't give them a nasty comment back. Don't send them a nasty message back. It doesn't do you any good. It doesn't help you out any. You may get reported to eBay. Once again, you might be giving eBay a bad name that trickles down to somebody else and hurts someone else. If you like this type of content, give me a like. Comment below. What kind of things have you made mistakes before in the past? Have you done some bad things before? We've all done things. We've all said things, but you got to remember you're representing a business. And like I say, probably the best thing to do is just walk away. Subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all of you. Take care and have a good week.